I waited 5 hours at a white tablecloth place for my own birthday dinner. At midnight, my wife finally swept in with 3 friends, dropped into the chair across from me, and said, loud enough for the room to hear, "See? Told you he'd, eh? Still be here like a pathetic puppy." They all laughed. I smiled, asked the waiter for another wine, and something inside me clicked off like a light. By morning, my phone showed 98 missed calls. I'm Julian Ward. For my 32nd, I'd snagged a window table at Maison Aurelia, one of those restaurants where the candle probably has a line item on the bill. I left work early, wore my late father's suit, and told the waiter, Francois, who was definitely not from France, that my wife would be right along. 7:15, 7:45, 8:30. The pity look started around 9. By 11, the busboys were stacking, chairs around me. At midnight, the door chimed, and in walked Olivia with her entourage, loud, tipsy, and delighted with themselves. No apology, no explanation, just that line and more laughter. Phones out. A little performance starring my humiliation. She wanted a scene. I could see it in the way she watched me, waiting for the explosion she could use later. Instead, I stood, straightened my jacket, told her I was going to the restroom, and walked through the kitchen to the alley. I called Marcus, my best friend. He picked me up in 15 minutes, said, "Whatever you just did, I'm proud of you," and drove me home. Back at the apartment, the museum of my bad decisions, I finally saw it all under fluorescent truth. The designer purses, the $3,000 reclaimed coffee table, the 75-inch TV she had to have for our brand. My phone kept buzzing. "Where are you? This is immature. I'm worried." "Fine. Ignore me." Ring after ring until I flipped it face down. Somewhere between 3 and 4 a.m., I made coffee and opened our accounts. Months of charges spelled out my part in the show. Spa memberships, business lunches, subscription boxes, the silver Mercedes. I co-signed because successful couples don't drive Hondas. The money was bad, the math was worse. I was financing my own humiliation, so I made a plan. Not revenge, exit strategy. Step 1, the Benz. At 9 a.m. sharp, I called the bank, canceled the auto pay, and filed a fraud coercion report. Turns out when you lay out 3 years of sign it or I'll leave, banks listen. 10 days to cure the payment, they said, or repossession. Timer set. Step 2. Her mouth. Olivia left me hour-long voicemails when she was mad. About her boss, parents, friends, you name it. I'd saved them all, not out of spite, but because they proved who she was when the filter dropped. I clipped the worst, labeled the files, and sent 2 emails. To her boss, a tidy MP3 of her calling him a middle management dinosaur. To her parents, last Christmas's monologue about them being embarrassing failures. At 10:15, she called, panicked, fired. By lunch, her parents had gone no contact. I didn't gloat, I just breathed. That night, I brought home heavy-duty trash bags and erased her from my space. 17 bags, closet shrine, skincare lab, investment candles we weren't allowed to light, framed photos where I looked like her assistant. At 1 a.m., I tossed it all into the landfill. Her favorite perfume shattered on a bald tire. It smelled like freedom. By Friday, Instagram announced the Mercedes repo before the bank did. The caption, "Some people would rather destroy. Everything beautiful than talk like adults." Comments. Heart emojis and, "What happened, hun?" Her support network evaporated within days. The friend with the pink hair blocked her after too many 3 a.m. sob calls. The college comedian stopped letting her couch surf. Credit cards declined. At the places she used to pose, employers heard the audio. The gossip circle did the rest. And me? I changed the locks, the breakup special, the locksmith called it. Closed joint accounts. Cleaned up my credit. I started running, then sleeping, then laughing. My work got better. People noticed. 3 months later, an email pinged. Subject: I miss you. It was a masterpiece of gaslighting. You're so angry about one night. If you'd been more attentive, I wouldn't have said hurtful things. I'm at the extended stay. Please help me. I'm still your wife. I read it twice. The first time, guilt knocked. The second time, anger answered. Then I felt something colder. Pity. The clinical kind you feel for a stranger who built a life on credit and charisma and finally got introduced to math. I deleted the email. The texts that followed: I'm sorry. Don't do this to us. I'll have to move in with my parents. Got the same treatment. Silence can be a full sentence. 6 months after the birthday that wasn't. I drank coffee on my balcony and watched the sky go orange over a quiet apartment that finally felt like mine. My accounts were healthy. My friends were back. My job was thriving. I'd learned how much peace weighs, light, how much constant drama weighs, everything, and how quickly a life rebounds when you stop financing your own mistreatment. Olivia once called me a pathetic puppy. Maybe I was, loyal, hopeful, waiting at the window. But puppies grow up. They learn. They remember who fed them and who kicked them. And one night, instead of fetching, they simply walk out the back door and never come back.